Shalom, shalom, shalom. I pray that all is well with you all today. I was sitting here about to read my word, and I really had a thought I want to share. The reason why it is important for us to continue to preach what Yahushua HaMashiach, the true Messiah, commonly referred to as Jesus the Christ, we have to preach what he did for us. It's important. It's imperative. I consider myself to be messianic. I also know that I'm an Israelite. But just because I know I am of the bloodline does not mean that I'm automatically going to make it into the kingdom or even receive salvation for that matter. Yahushua's sacrifice was the ultimate sacrifice for multiple reasons. A few of the reasons that I just really want to just quickly talk about and touch on. If you go through the book of Leviticus and you go through specifically the first 5 books of the scriptures, the Pentateuch, when you really understand that Israel as a nation could not even approach Yah individually, you should be grateful that you're able to go to the Most High Yah by yourself, because Israel could not do that before Yahushua's atonement. They needed to have a priest. Even the priest, the high priest, could only really approach Yah after he atoned for the sins of Israel, but then his own sins. They had meat offerings, drink offerings, all these many different offerings, all this blood that was shed, that was not just temporary, but it was a shadow of the ultimate sacrifice of Yahushua, because his blood was going to be shed so that we can now actually go to the Father by ourselves. So just really think about that. If Yahushua was never sent, if Yahushua was not obedient, if Yahushua did not get up out of that grave, if he was not resurrected, you couldn't even approach the Most High Yah in prayer. You needed a priest. That's why Yahushua being a high priest is very important. That's why those of you all who deny Yahushua, you can't even go to the Father by yourself. Because what priest from the Levitical priesthood do you know of that's going to sacrifice an animal on your behalf just so you can go talk to the Most High Yah? We also are able to have the indwelling of Yah's Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Ghost, within us to help renew our mind, to help renew our spirit, to help us to truly understand how to be obedient to Yah's laws, commandments, and statutes. The 10 Commandments is tied to a covenant. That's the standard for everyone. Anyone and everyone can be obedient to the commandments, the 10 Commandments. When you talk about laws help us to understand sin. Laws also help to regulate. It also helps to judge, right? And then statutes were special circumstances and special instructions for specific people, because not all statutes apply to everyone. Not all laws apply to everyone. Certain laws were for men, certain laws were for women, certain laws were for priests, certain laws were for kings, certain laws were for strangers, certain laws were specifically for Israel. Like, there's so many different laws that existed. The 10 Commandments can be considered the divine law, the moral law, the moral compass of all people, because it existed prior to Israel even being a nation. It just was put on stones of tablet by Yah's own finger. And then when you think of other laws, like you had ceremonial laws, ritual laws, hygiene laws. Man, there are so many different laws that were used to regulate, to also judge, but to also provide order for people. Just like not all laws going to apply to every person. Like me being a mental health counselor, I have to abide by certain laws to ensure that I can maintain my license or be approved for a license, right? But if you're not a counselor, that law is not going to apply to you. So we have to understand a lot of these things were done for a reason. You have to go back to the beginning and see why were things instituted, why were things established, why did Yah want Israel to live to such a standard? Because we are holy, we are set apart. He wanted us to be in the world but not of the world. You know, one of my favorite scriptures of all time, Romans 12:2, is where I honestly get my personal mantra from. Everything starts and ends with your mindset. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know, so that way you know what is the pure, the right, the perfect law of Yah and the will of Yah. Like things of this nature are still integral and still important in our walk today. So stop letting people tell you that you have to do certain things when you don't know why we had to do certain things in the beginning. And then ultimately quit denying the Messiah, Yahushua. Whether you believe or not, it's not going to change the fact that he came, he died, he rose, and he's coming back again. And he became our high priest. He became our mediator. He was our atonement. He did a lot of things. So get into the word, really start to understand everything that he did for us, but specifically for you. And the most important thing is, without him, you couldn't even go to the Most High Yah in prayer by yourself. So just wanted to share that quick thought this morning. I pray that you all will have a royally righteous day, and shalom.